While modern guns have evolved a lot with fancy tech and high power, we're riding back to a time when things were simpler, but no less deadly. In the Wild West, a cowboy's gun was more than just a tool. It was his best friend on the trail, his protection in a fight, and sometimes the difference between life and death. These single-action revolvers, rough and reliable, helped tame the frontier. Let's take a closer look at the real guns cowboys once carried. But before we dive in, make sure to subscribe because your support is everything for our new channel. Number 1. Colt 1851 Navy Revolver. The Colt 1851 Navy Revolver was one of the most popular sidearms in the Old West, even though it was originally designed years before the cowboy era. Introduced in 1850 by Samuel Colt, this .36 caliber cap and ball revolver quickly became the go-to pistol for soldiers, lawmen, and cowboys alike. Its name, Navy, referred not to its users but to the engraved naval battle scene on the cylinder. What made the 1851 Navy special was its balance and accuracy. Weighing about 2.6 pounds with a 7.5-inch octagonal barrel, it had a smooth trigger and comfortable grip, making it easy to handle on horseback or during a quick draw standoff. Although it used black powder and percussion caps, many were later converted to fire metallic cartridges, extending their usefulness well into the cowboy era. One of its most famous users was Wild Bill Hickok, who carried a pair of ivory-handled Colt Navy revolvers. In 1865, he reportedly used one to kill Davis Tutt in a classic face-off in Springfield, Missouri, one of the earliest recorded duels of the Wild West. That moment cemented the Colt 1851 Navy's reputation as a deadly and dependable firearm, one that held its own long after newer guns came to market. Number 2. Smith & Wesson Schofield Revolver. The Smith & Wesson Schofield Revolver, introduced in 1875, stood out as one of the most advanced single-action pistols of its time. Built on the Model 3 frame, the Schofield featured a top break design which allowed the shooter to tilt the barrel downward and eject all 6 spent shells at once, making it faster to reload than most revolvers of the era. Chambered in .45 Schofield, this revolver delivered powerful stopping force, while its shorter, more manageable round made it ideal for mounted cavalry and quick-drawing cowboys. It had smooth mechanics, a comfortable grip, and a sturdy frame, making it a favorite among soldiers, lawmen, and even outlaws. What makes Schofield remarkable is how it has stood the test of time. Collectors and historians still prize the revolver for its elegance, engineering, and impact on the firearm's design. Many original models are proudly displayed in museums or carefully preserved in private collections. Though modern handguns have come a long way, the Schofield remains a symbol of innovation and strength from the Wild West era, an iconic piece that in many ways is still unbeaten in spirit and legacy. Number 3. Colt 1877 Thunderer. The Colt 1877 Thunderer was Colt's first double-action revolver, introduced in 1877 and designed to offer fast firing with its unique trigger mechanism. While technically a double action, it could still be fired in single action mode, which many cowboys preferred for better accuracy and control. Chambered in .41 long Colt, the Thunderer was one of 3 models from the 1877 series, alongside the Lightning, which was a .38 caliber, and the Rainmaker, the .32 caliber. What made the Thunderer stand out was its compact design and fast handling. It had a 2.5 to 6-inch barrel, making it easy to carry in a shoulder holster or a coat pocket, ideal for cowboys, gamblers, and outlaws looking for something more concealable than the larger Peacemaker. Its sleek frame and powerful punch made it popular across the frontier. The Thunderer was famously carried by Billy the Kid, adding to its legendary status. Though it was known for having a delicate mechanism that could break under rough use, many still relied on it for its close-range defense. Number 4. Remington 1858 New Model Army. The Remington 1858 New Model Army was one of the most rugged and reliable revolvers of the 19th century, earning a strong reputation among Union soldiers during the Civil War, and later, frontier lawmen and cowboys. Introduced in 1858 and chambered in .44 caliber, the Remington stood out for its solid frame design, unlike Colt revolvers of the time, which had an open-top frame. This made the Remington stronger, more durable, and better suited for repeated firing under rough conditions. Its most notable feature was the easily removable cylinder, which allowed users to carry preloaded spare cylinders for faster reloading a massive advantage in a shootout. Cowboys could swap in a fresh cylinder in seconds rather than manually reloading one shot at a time. Though less flashy than some of its Colt rivals, the Remington 1858 was praised for its accuracy, strength, and mechanical reliability. It saw extended use even after cartridge firearms became popular, with many being converted to fired metallic cartridges. Number 5. Smith & Wesson Model 3. The Smith & Wesson Model 3 was one of the most advanced and respected revolvers of the late 19th century. Introduced in the early 1870s, it became a favorite among cowboys, soldiers, and outlaws alike. What set it apart was its top break frame, which allowed the shooter to flip the barrel downward and automatically eject all 6 spent cartridges at once, a major innovation at a time when most revolvers required manual reloading one at a time. Chambered in powerful calibers like .44 Russian and .45 Schofield, the Model 3 delivered solid stopping power with smooth handling. Its precision and fast reload made it an ideal sidearm for life on the trail or in a shootout. Cowboys who could afford one appreciated its speed and reliability, even if it cost more than the typical Colt revolvers of the day. The Smith & Wesson Model 3 saw service across the world, from the American West to Russian military ranks. Despite the rise of newer designs, its reputation endures. Collectors still admire its craftsmanship, and many Wild West museums feature it proudly. More than just a gun, the Model 3 remains a symbol of innovation during one of America's most rugged and legendary eras. Number 6. Clint Eastwood and the Wild West Legacy. The Colt Single Action Army, also known as the Peacemaker, is one of the most iconic revolvers of the West. Introduced in 1873, this 6-shot single-action revolver was chambered in powerful .45 Colt and became famous for its durability and accuracy. Its single-action design required the hammer to be manually cocked before each shot, making it slower than modern double-action revolvers but providing greater precision. The Colt SAA's balanced weight, smooth trigger, and reliable performance made it ideal for quick draws and gunfights, which is why it became the weapon of choice for both lawmen and outlaws. In Clint Eastwood's portrayal of the Man with No Name and the Dollars trilogy, the Colt SAA was the revolver of choice, perfectly complementing his quiet yet deadly persona. The gun's iconic design and precise firing mechanism matched his character's calculated and stoic nature. Its 4 3/4-inch barrel was favored for quick handling and ease of concealment, while its .45 caliber rounds packed a serious punch, perfect for the dangerous confrontation Eastwood's character often found themselves in. Number 7. Colt Walker Revolver. The Colt Walker revolver, introduced in 1847, is one of the most powerful and historically significant firearms of the Wild West. Designed by Samuel Colt and the Texas Ranger Captain Samuel Walker, it was built to meet the demands of the U.S. Weighing nearly 4.5 pounds, the Colt Walker was far heavier than typical sidearms, making it cumbersome for quick draws or concealed carry. However, its large size and robust construction allowed it to fire heavier charges of black powder, producing a muzzle velocity that was far more lethal than most handguns at the time. The Walker's brass trigger guard and steel frame were built to handle the intense recoil from such a powerful charge. Despite its size, the Colt Walker was used by both cavalry soldiers and cowboys, though many found it too bulky for daily use. A true giant of its time, the Colt Walker is now revered by collectors and historians as one of the most iconic revolvers in history, known for its raw power and lasting impact on firearm design. Thanks for riding with us through the legendary guns of the Wild West. Which gun surprised you the most? Subscribe to our channel for more deep dives into the tools that shaped history. What's your favorite Wild West revolver? Or is it even a revolver? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to hit the bell icon so you never miss an episode. Stay tuned for more thrilling stories from the frontier.